Side saddle women have always been attention-seeking. Side saddle is so tied to women and their value and their use in society, which generally is childbearing. If we are to keep women intact and useful, usable, we have to somehow get them from A to B without damaging their ability to have children.
Historically, the side saddle was developed to keep the hymen, the thin layer that covers a woman's vagina, intact.
The whole idea of the side saddle was always assigned to social concerns around modesty and sexual purity, that it was dangerous for women to ride astride because it might ruin them for marriage.
I think in hindsight, clearly, would that have medically impacted somebody's ability to have a baby? No, not likely.
1382 of Anne of Bohemia, Richard II's intended bride, and she was a week or 10 days' ride from him. So a saddle was built so that she would be able to do her own steering, riding, but not wreck herself for Richard. Ironically, she had no children. She died barren. I always say that having side saddle ability does not mean you are going to become a breeding machine.
Horses, I think, have had that role in the development, obviously, of mankind, but also specifically with female rights. Side saddle riding really opened the entire world up to women who were previously really confined to the house or reliant on other people. And I think being able to have that access and that free will of transportation was a game changer.
This was a way that they could actually go out and do things, most of the things that men could do, and do it in an acceptable way. So I think it's probably the first sign of a real independence for women.
From then on, that fulfilled the role to transport women and keep them still of some value. Which is harsh, right? It's harsh.
Every time I cinch my side saddle up, I'm thinking about those women and the road that they paved and how brave they were and elegant and beautiful. And it's very feminine, but very strong. And I like that combination. I think that's important to showcase today, that you can be both. Millerville's a really special race because it's the oldest, and it was the first side saddle race in this area. And it's in honor of Winifred Harvey, who's really a local legend and icon, somebody we all admire and look up to and try to honor with our horsemanship, with our etiquette. I think she's really prevalent on our minds today as we take to this old track. And it's also a really lovely way to just get our group together and coalesce and get everything sorted so that we're ready to go for Stampede. Side saddle to me it's grown so much. I initially took to it because it was a challenge, because I hadn't tried it before, and because I really love the tradition and the wardrobe and the elegance of it. Like the relationship that we have to build with our horses. I like the craftsmanship that it celebrates in keeping these old vintage saddles going, in properly made boots, in well-tailored habits. It's just really a celebration of excellence, and I love that.
For me, it's riding. It's another way to ride. It's another way to enjoy your horse. And yeah, it's still for me to this day that way.
I decided to do side saddle just because it was something new to try.
It's nice to speak to that tradition of how women used to ride and kind of learn how
it went back in the day. Side saddle is absolutely exhilarating. It's so fun.
You also get to dress up in beautiful clothing.
The habit is the traditional turnout for the side saddle ladies. The habit is made of the apron skirt, the breeches under it, which are the same color, a shirt and a stock or tie, and waistcoat, and then a jacket. And so usually these things are made out of really heavy Melton wool, not really lovely in the summer, but we learned that you sit up and smile and then melt later.
We're women who can ride horses and look beautiful and be poised. It's the New West.
The ladies that are out there are legit. You know, you need to have your wits about you to do this. Not a joke.
Congratulations, Erin.
Well done, everybody. Thank you for turning out so beautifully and running a safe race and a fast race. Here's you guys.
The Calgary Stampede, it's a big deal.
Calgary wouldn't be what it is today if it wasn't for the Calgary Stampede.
To be able to be in that arena is going to be pretty incredible.
I think it's important for women to be, you know, having a role in front of the grandstand, and it'll be like exciting like it always is. Yeah, the pinnacle.
Just show another form of horsemanship, and especially for women.
It's the greatest outdoor show on earth, and they call it that for a reason.
It's a combination of so many things that are exciting for the crowd, exciting for people who know horses, and for people who don't.
Welcome you to Guy Meeting Days. As Guy Meeting put his life, we've got a rich piece of history today as we bring you some exciting ladies who are proud to demonstrate to you the side saddle race, exclusive only to Guy Meeting Days.
English side saddle that, you know, the aristocrats came out with. Not many people, unless you're aristocrat, came out with these saddles to our new country, Canada, that they rode those for a while and they found it impractical and they wanted to go to the western side saddle. And then they found that impractical and they wanted to ride astride. And so they took a kind of an offset from the English saddle, and it had a little steel horn, but no back cinch, just the regular cinch underneath.
What's the difference between riding astride and side saddle? Well, astride is what we call, refer to normal horse riding as. The rider sits straight to the horse and has a leg on each side. And side saddle was more ladylike for modesty reasons. There are two kinds of side saddles, English ones and Western ones. The English ones were all from Europe, the UK. I'm actually leaning against my own saddle here. And you can see it's an English saddle, looks just like a regular saddle. My hip bones will be here, straight to my horse's hip bones, but my right leg comes over the front of over the horse's spine, around this fixed pommel and down. My left leg grips this other pommel, and that's what keeps me on.
I really prefer the English style of side saddle. I really love wearing my silk hat, my habit. I have my navy blue habit that I just adore. It was a gift to me, and I just feel so classy in it. It's really fun.
Mud. That's a good run. I thought I had that girl. I thought I had that girl just for all the old ladies, right? She had another gear. Yeah.
The dirt was going in my
You went like this the whole race.
Yeah.
She just let her horse run. He's a smart horse.
Post race, quite obviously.
It's awesome. Fast.
Really fast. Yeah, feels good.
How was the horse?
He was awesome. He just, he found another gear right at the end when he saw Ritz coming up on my left. And yeah, it was really fun. Yeah, big smile on my face the whole time.
Riding side saddle is the hardest form of riding that I have ever done in my life. It's really hard on your hips and your knees. My right leg always goes numb. My whole leg will be completely asleep when I step off, and I can't even really walk for about 10 minutes before I step off. It's really hard. You have to think about a lot of things while you're riding side saddle. It's very different. You have to keep your hips square as if you are riding astride, and also your shoulder back, and make sure that your butt is staying in the saddle and not flopping up and down on their backs. You gotta watch your hands and make sure you're not getting your reins tangled in the leaping heads. It can be a lot to think about all at once. If you have a good riding foundation, it's not as hard as you would think in that regard. But if you just started riding side saddle, it would be a little bit of a different story.
I think with side saddle, especially for people seeing it for the first time, there's so much elegance and mystery. How is she sitting on that, and how does it feel to ride that horse, and how is she controlling the horse, and how is she that calm when she's very close to death? I think it's very mysterious. The rules of side saddle. Well, my personal rule is no crying, no dying, unless they're happy tears.
There's Oscar and Sophia.
My horses do so much for me. And one of the reasons they do that with confidence and with quite a good attitude, I don't ask them too much too soon. So it's really a process of building a horse's confidence. If I know my horse can do it and I ask him nicely and I set the situation up for success, he never learns to fail. And so he never learns to say no to me because he doesn't get scared. Whereas if you overface a horse and you put him in too deep too soon, you can really damage their confidence. And it's so important to go into an event like this with such a high octane atmosphere and such a high risk activity to go into it with a horse who is well prepared for the job and who I trust, you know, to show up for me out there if things go wrong. I need to know that my horse is going to stay underneath me and not duck left and head out.
What's going on, big man? What's going on?
If you love horses, there's no growing out of it, and there's no fix for you but to get your hands on them. They're magical that way.
We're a lot alike, but she definitely shared her passion with horses with me, something that I will keep with me always.
You're always learning and you're always developing that relationship and that bond, and I find I'm always refining my conversation and getting to the point where I think it and my horse feels me think it and we go. And that's one of the things I really love about side saddle is because you are limited with both your legs on one side. So there's a lot of trust that you have to put in your horse and them in you.
The relationship with the horse, personally, is huge. I mean, horses have been a huge part of my life since I was 6. And honestly, they've saved my life. I don't know where I'd be without them today. And they remind me to be patient and kind and understanding. Sometimes you get horses that don't trust and they have issues with being able to trust a human. And to be able to bring that back and watch them grow is so rewarding for me. That helps me in my own life just, you know, feel accomplished and feel like I'm able to help another being.
The visitor center right in this area here.
Women used to be the ones that were home. So they were also farming, they were raising children, they were raising their food, they were home.
The backbone of a lot of these early day ranches was the women. I mean, they had to cook, they had to put everything together, they had to look after animals, a lot of them had to ride, a lot of them drove teams, and they worked beside the men, and they worked very, very hard, and they were the real pioneers of the history of this country.
For a lot of the small ranches like my mom grew up on or that were surrounding us all around here, the men needed help, and the women were the helpmates. They were the partners, and they worked side by side with the men and could do anything the men could do, but a little bit unsung heroes.
I think everybody respects everybody. If we don't work together, we can't push and say, oh, I'm better, the women are better than the men. I think we all have to do our own thing and help one another. That's about what I can say about it. I was glad that I was able to do anything that the men did.
Women's role in ranching is a lot of times very equal to men. I mean, these ladies go out and they can rope and doctor a cow on any given day. But there's also a very maternal side. They care for the children and they're raising these kids as well. They're very dynamic women to be doing this.
I think it's important. I've always thought, you know, to know where we're going, to quote the old saw, you don't have to know where you've been. I do think that's really important. We have lots to learn from history. I think history is a very important thing for us to know.
Go on. Yeah, and then I just throw my leg over. I have to do it.
Oh, wow! Now throw your leg over. There you go.
Make you show you're pretty.
Sit up straight. Be proud.
Go for a ride. What does it feel like?
Proud is the word I would use.
Go for a ride.
And listen, if you go really fast, watch the thing in the middle that might be in a bad place.
Yeah.
All right, I only should know. Perfect.
It feels very precarious. You're very perched up here. It feels like hell. Yeah. You feel like you're about a foot above everything. It feels awful. I wouldn't want to race in it, so they're very brave.
One of the things that has really settled on me through all of this was I am a link. I rode with the women who lived this. They taught me, and I'm doing this. Now I'm teaching other people. Am I hoping that they will be paying attention, listening, caring enough that they pass that on to their daughters? It is something that I'm wondering about more and more. It is. I have a daughter now who can probably repair saddles, who certainly knows how to ride, saddle, get a horse going. Will she be moved to hand that along when it's time? It's a good question.
When I think about the women before me that had to ride side saddle, they had no other option. I think that those women were just badass. Like, they just rode like that next to their men, and they didn't complain about it, and they just wanted to ride. And I think that's really empowering. And you know, it is a lot harder than riding astride, and we did it in a dress. It's pretty awesome.
I feel that it's important that we kind of give a nod to the ladies that began side saddle, just as like a little recognition that we have been independent for a long time and we can do all these things. I don't think it takes away from where we are now by acknowledging where we've been.
Everything that we do has a lasting effect.
I'm so excited. It's wonderful to be bringing this. It's wonderful to have the group of women that we have, to have the group of horses that we have, to have the support of the community who have just been amazing. Everybody's so keen and they're all so excited for us and they're all pulling for us. And I think that's what we'll be thinking about when we ride onto the track is how many people really want to see this go.
Well, I'm a little nervous. I mean, coming into the Stampede, I think the nerves mostly just come from the crowd and how big the stage is. I mean, it's the greatest outdoor show on earth, and it's been my dream. But again, I also have that relationship with the horse and the trust built where I can also feel the excitement and the energy from the crowd. It'll be an interesting couple days. I'm excited.
I'd like you to join me in welcoming the talented horsewomen of the Ladies Side Saddle Racing.
to have the experience of bringing side saddle racing to the North American stage, to the world stage, at such an incredible venue. People were so excited about it. We showed well, we were fast, we were safe, we looked good, and we had so much fun. We had so much fun.
Women rode side saddle to be of value, then to gain their rights. We did all that and rode out a stride. This isn't just history. This story belongs to all of us.